Imagine this. You're rushing to work, already late, and your subway train grinds to a halt in the tunnel. Again. For millions of New Yorkers, this wasn't just a hypothetical scenario, it was their reality this summer. According to newly released MTA data, New York City just endured its worst summer for subway performance in 7 years, with delays and disruptions reaching levels not seen since 2018. And here's the kicker. This isn't just bad luck. It's a symptom of deeper systemic issues that have been festering for decades. So, what happened? The MTA reported a staggering 138 major incidents between June and July alone. To qualify as a major incident, a problem must delay at least 50 trains, a threshold that underscores just how widespread these disruptions were. These numbers represent the highest totals for those months since 2018, when Governor Andrew Cuomo declared a state of emergency due to chronically unreliable service. Back then, aging equipment and infrastructure were flagged as culprits. Fast forward to today, and guess what? Those same problems are still haunting the system. But here's where it gets controversial. While some might argue that the increase in reported incidents is simply due to changes in how the MTA tracks data, others see it as undeniable proof that the subway system is in dire need of help. Bill Amorosa, the vice president of subways at NYC Transit, explained that the agency altered its methodology for tracking major incidents in 2023. This change means that more specific issues, like signal failures or track problems, are now being grouped together under one category, which pushes the total number of major incidents higher. It's the same number of delays, Amorosa said, but you're seeing more of them tied to individual events like signal or track issues. Translation? The situation might look worse on paper than it actually feels to riders, but try telling that to someone stuck underground for an hour. And let's not forget the role of aging infrastructure. More delays attributed to outdated electrical systems, failing signals, and crumbling tracks occurred in July than in any other month since the MTA began monitoring this data point in 2020. These aren't minor hiccups. They're glaring red flags, signaling decades of neglect. Take the ongoing signal upgrade projects, for instance. These upgrades are supposed to be the silver bullet for improving reliability, yet every single one is behind schedule, some by up to 3 years. Meanwhile, the MTA's ambitious $65 billion construction plan to overhaul the system faced its own hurdles earlier this year when approval was delayed for 5 months amid funding negotiations between state lawmakers and Governor Kathy Hochul. For regular commuters, none of this comes as a shock. Daily riders have been dealing with a relentless barrage of disruptions, from power outages at key stations like West 4th Street to flooding caused by heavy storms. Nicole Strepick, a 24-year-old resident of downtown Brooklyn who relies on the F train, knows all too well how frustrating the experience can be. "I take the subway every morning to work," she shared. "I've lost count of how many times I've been late because of delays." Her story isn't unique. In fact, the F train ranked second for the most delays caused by infrastructure issues in June and July. Other notorious offenders include the E, N, 1, and 7 lines, rounding out the top 5 most delayed routes. Danny Perlstein, a spokesperson for Riders Alliance, summed it up perfectly. "In some ways, we've been living on borrowed time. 50 years ago, the system nearly collapsed, and massive upgrades saved it. But now, everything, the signals, the electrical systems, the tunnels, needs urgent attention that hasn't been given in generations." He added, "The chickens are roosting right now. Investments are finally being made, but fixing a century-old system isn't as simple as flipping a switch." If anything, this summer's struggles highlight the uphill battle facing both the MTA and its riders. Wait times, the difference between scheduled and actual arrival times, hit near 5-year highs, leaving passengers increasingly frustrated. Earlier this year, MTA officials warned state lawmakers that without swift funding for repairs and upgrades, service could deteriorate even further. Considering much of the subway system is over a century old, the stakes couldn't be higher. A recent investigation by Gothamist painted a grim picture of the underlying infrastructure, revealing mid-20th century electrical equipment prone to explosions, and repair facilities literally falling apart. So, what do you think? Is the MTA doing enough to address these challenges, or are they moving too slowly? Should taxpayers bear the brunt of funding such massive overhauls, or should private entities step in? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.